Welcome to Top Sports Talk, presented to you by Top Sports News. I am your host, Caleb Jenrette. Next to me is my co-host, Isaac Deer. As always, Isaac, how you doing today?
I'm much better now, man. It's been a while. We had Christmas Eve, or no, it was Christmas Day
Christmas, yeah.
on our originally scheduled Sunday, and then we had, I think, possibly New Year's Day after that too. So
Something like that.
Long time no see, my friend. It's good to see your face. It's good to see those Cornhusker jerseys and Broncos jersey, Von Miller jersey right behind you. I miss doing this with you, man. I'm excited to get this going. We're back, baby. It's 2023. We're back.
It's a new year, big year. It's a big year. I can feel it. It's just something's gonna happen. It's gonna be a big one. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, so you can always stay up to date with our content every single Monday, except for the last 2 weeks because it was holiday. But yeah, other than that, we will post every Monday about Shawnee County sports. Shout out to Ticker. Always go to the Ticker and use it for all your scores. It helps us out a lot. And you can just go there and see all the county scores on there that people are at. So finally, always want to thank our sponsors, Vista Credit Union and the Family Guidance Center, for continuing to sponsor Top Sports News. But yeah, it was a big week for basketball mainly is what we're going to talk about today. Some big time games, and maybe one of the biggest games in Shawnee County every single year, no matter what the sport is the War on 24 between Silver Lake and Rossville. And Isaac was in attendance to that. But before we get to Isaac, the scores, the girls, it was an undefeated matchup. Rossville was undefeated going into it. Silver Lake was undefeated going into it. Silver Lake stayed undefeated as they won 63-50. And the boys, not an undefeated matchup, but it's still a War on 24, so it never disappoints. Rossville did end up winning 50-43. But Isaac's going to have the complete breakdown with everything you need to know.
Yeah, let's talk about it, buddy. Let's talk about it. Yeah, Silver Lake girls we'll start out with. Obviously a huge win. It didn't feel like any other game that I've seen this year so far. The matchup had it had a playoff type feel to it after the winter break. The first game after winter break was this game. There wasn't very many games going on in the county overall. This was huge. And Silver Lake is ranked number 2 currently until the standings come out on Tuesday. We'll see where everybody's ranked on Tuesday, but number 2 in Class 3A, Silver Lake, and number 9 in Rossville. Huge matchup. This game was enormous for both teams, and as I've kind of harped on a little bit, but Silver Lake, I think the key to victory was their consistency offensively. It was 16 points first quarter, 16 second, 15 third, 16 fourth. It was just consistent. Feed it to Mackenzie McDaniel down in the paint, who Mackenzie McDaniel had an enormous double-double, 22 points and 14 rebounds. So she was obviously, that's just what she does. She goes and gets hers. I'll just say that. She goes and gets hers. And she was incredible. McKinley Kruger had a bunch of points. I know that Kaylin Haney, I think she's like 5'5", 5'6" freshman. She had 5 blocks in this matchup. So that was pretty impressive. Silver Lake overall, just total team victory. That's all it was, and Coach Kyle Porter told me afterwards that being in these games will dictate you having to take care of the ball, which Silver Lake did really well, and make those decisions, and all of those will pay dividends down the road. And that's why he told me after the game. Rossville played really, really well too. They had a couple different leads throughout the game. Guard Kinsey Pirine was really, she was stellar. I think she had like 6 steals on the night, which I think we mentioned on the basketball preview to start the season. I said, I was like, how many steals did Kinsey Pirine average game? Oh yeah, 6. Yeah, 6. She was incredible. Riley Dick was awesome. Emma Mitchell was putting up points. I think she had like 17 on the night. Rossville should have none to worry. I know they got a win on Friday night as well against, I think it was Riley County, and no worries for Rossville. It was a really quality game. I know it says 13 points, but it was down to the wire, fouling, free throws. You know how it goes down the stretch. But That girls' game was electric. It was really, really good. The atmosphere was great. When you have a school that's like I don't even say 6 miles, probably
Oh,
like
I think it's way less than that.
I think it's like 3 miles
Under
maybe away.
5 for sure.
Yeah, and everybody shows up. The gym was full. It was stuffy. If you have the flu, you probably caught the flu over at that game. It was a full house for sure. And those games are the best. But at the end of the day, Silver Lake ended up on top because of the efforts of Cabron Kruger, McKinley Kruger on the outside, Mackenzie McDaniels, 22 points, 14 rebounds on the inside. But that was a great game. Rossville has definitely nothing to hang their hat on because they got a big win on Friday against Riley County. But the boys' game was, I mean, it was neck and neck. It was gritty. It had the juice to it, man. Rossville had that juice and intensity that it took to win those gritty, nasty, hard games. You know, those bully ball kind of games. Not much offense to it, just diving for loose balls and getting the rebounds. But those rivalry runs are huge. And Rossville boys coming up with that big win. Coach Brandon McDonald told me that the X's and O's weren't really relevant in this matchup. It was just all about competing and playing your hardest, which I believe that was 100% true because wasn't a bunch of offense in this one, to be honest with you. I think it was 22-20 at halftime. But I think in the fourth quarter, Rossville pulled away with a 17-point fourth quarter. Cameron Berdura, St. Mildred, and Brock Bush played their best basketball late. Troy Hyman for Silver Lake had a really big fourth quarter for the second game in a row, but they just fell short. But Rossville, I mean, this was an impressive win, and I think this is their second straight win too. I'm not sure how Friday night went. They might have won that game, but Rossville's really playing well right now. And both the girls and the guys games were really fun, really entertaining, and I can't wait for the next one. I think it's in February. Not sure, but I think it's in February, so that should be fun.
Yeah, 1 on 24 is always fun. It's always a good one. And I actually Friday night watched the Silver Lake girls for a little bit. I was there for the first quarter in their Rock Creek game, and they weren't doing very well on offense, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, their defense is legit. That whole team is just totally legit. No matter if you're starting on the bench, they just work as a unit, and it's pretty fun to watch. But our next matchup was the Seaman Leavenworth matchup. Seaman girls stayed undefeated as they really handed it to Leavenworth. And then the boys also won with Caden Bonner scoring 25 points. But once again, Isaac was in attendance of this game, so I'll just let him take it away.
That'll be the theme of the show, won't it? It's me I had the opportunities. They were wide open this week for me to be at a lot of different places, which I'm very glad to have been at the Seaman Leavenworth games on Thursday night. We want to talk about the girls for a second. I mean, that's 60-26. It wasn't. I mean, to be honest with you, it wasn't close from the tip. It was Seaman was just better that night, and Matt Tinsley's group is absolutely rolling right now. Seaman's front and backcourt, they can't be stopped. I think we've gotten to a point now where I've watched enough games this season to like Seaman's different. I think with Taylor Stahlbomber, Anna Becker, you got freshman Maddie Gregg, who's really controlling it down in the paint. She's not that big of a girl, but man, she gets it done. You got Carson Anderson and Brooklyn Gormley as well. I mean, this whole group is incredible. I saw Brooklyn Gormley get 5 blocks in a single quarter, the second quarter the other night. She was just stellar. The group as a whole, though, I mean, they're not overly tall or overly big or, tremendously athletic. It's just, I mean, they know how to play basketball and they know how to play it the right way. I think the Seaman girls team in Class 5A is just a problem, man. I think that last year we saw Anna Becker was a freshman last year, and Taylor Stahlmeier was a sophomore last year as well. And the way they just get their shots, they just always seem to find good shot selection. They can find themselves in the corner. They can find themselves open in the mid-range too. They just break off of screens and everything else so well. They just find the way to get it done. The pick and roll just definitely works in their favor as well. But the Seaman girls are just a problem, man. I'd hate to face them. Luckily, I'm not a girl 15 through the 18 range, or I'd probably be a little upset too because I wouldn't like to face them. I don't think me being a girls basketball player would probably be good either. I'd probably, yeah, I wouldn't be very good. But uh, this is a good team though. This is they're a problem, definitely a problem, and um 60-26 I think should just tell you the story without me. I think I put 1,000 words to it the other day, but without me explaining, I mean, it's just they're impressive. You know, and Matt tends as a coach, you know, they're coaches are going to say that um they didn't show enough, you know, it wasn't good enough in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Well, Siemens starters did not play in the fourth quarter. It was the younger girls were getting time and stuff like that, but he wasn't happy with the way things ended. But I'm like, still won by 34 points, but it's fine, you know, it's fine. And, but the boys, yeah, the boys came off. I mean, they started the winter break strong with another 60. By the way, twins, hashtag twins, the girls and the boys with 60 points.
I did see that.
Was that for my tweet that you saw
I
that?
did. I did see your tweet. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I love the engagement on my tweets. Anyway, so yeah, the boys 60-45 victory over Leavenworth. Leavenworth's got a really good team too, a feisty team. If you're familiar with Kansas high school sports at all, Leavenworth has this kid named Eddie McLaughlin, and he is just a pure athlete. Amazing quarterback in football. He's really just a pure athlete, makes everybody around him better. And Leavenworth really can make a significant run in the end. I know the record doesn't say right now that they're a potential playoff contender, but I think they are. I think they're loaded with shooters and have a really good team. So hats off to Leavenworth for that. The boys started off the season 1-3. Haven't had the best start to the year, but now they got a full healthy Aaron Davis back with Caden Bonner, who you mentioned earlier. Aaron Davis provides a tremendous amount of support to the team that won state last year. I mean, he's a big dude, could shoot the three. I mean, he's a modern day big man that you want in a big man is he can just dominate down the paint, but he can also shoot the three if you really want him to. Aaron Davis and Caden Bonner are one of the best 1-2 punches in the state, man. They're unbelievable. And Caden Bonner had his 25 points. Davis had his 15. But the importance of having those two leaders back with prolonged success like they've had is vital for this team that was struggling, you know, going into the winter break. And I think they can make a run now. You know, I think they were relying too heavy on these two going in the first half of their game against Leavenworth, because Bonner and Davis had all of their points going into halftime. They had every single point accounted for Seaman going into halftime. But after the second half, everybody started getting theirs. Everybody started getting a bucket. And I mean, I don't even know how many players ended up scoring. I think it was like 8, 9, 10 players scored coming out of halftime. But those two, I mean, if those two can really click and get it going, Seaman boys will be, you know, they'll be good. They'll definitely be good. And I think they'll be relevant again in terms of how people view them right now. But yeah, Caden Bonner's 25 points, absolutely electric. He got it done in the paint as well as he did behind the arc and everything else, and was clutch down the wire. So yeah, those two are definitely a problem, but this is a really good team. I would not sleep on them yet.
Yeah, and you saw it last year. I mean, you get hot at the right time, and we all know what happened with Seaman last year. They ended up winning the big thing. So just a game of momentum, and seems like they're getting some good momentum back. Another Shawnee County showdown was Washburn Rural versus Hayden. The boys from Washburn Rural took the dub 46-36, and the girls won 56-32 to complete the sweep. The Washburn Rural girls have now won 5 in a row, and the boys have won 3 in a row. Big time games for both squads.
Yeah, and this game was huge. You know, we don't get a ton of city matchups this year, and I think Washburn Rural and Hayden was a really important matchup, and I think it's nice, honestly. I think Rick Peterson, our boss, I think he was there for that. Yeah, we don't get these city matchups anymore, really, because of the couple schools going to the UKC, one going to the Metal Art Conference, and yada yada yada. But yeah, if we're talking about the girls' game, first of all, the girls' game was Washburn Rural had an incredible first half. I think they played really, really well. And then the second half, I mean, I think Hayden outscored them in the second half. Forgot what the final was on that, but I think Hayden played better in the second half, played better than Washburn Rural did. But Washburn Rural's explosive first half, I think, was the difference. I think Brooklyn DeLay and Zoe Canfield had a big enough impact. I think Brooklyn DeLay had 17 points on the night, and then Zoe Canfield had a double-double. I think it was 15 points and 10 rebounds. So give Washburn Rural credit, and give Hayden credit for having a great second half as well. Two city teams. I mean, those girls teams are really good. I've harped on again and again about Hayden. Is like they got Lauren Sandstrom and Briley Minor, Avery Grunup's really coming along as well. And but Washburn Rural is the defending 6A state champions. We tend to forget that because they had one loss or two losses to begin the year, but they're still they got the same coach and they got the same 1-2 punch down there. So I definitely wouldn't sleep on Washburn Rural girls quite yet, but good win. I know Kevin Borderwick didn't like it. I saw the quotes that Rick Pearson had in his story. Kevin Borderwick was thrilled about how the first half went, but he thought that the team let off the brakes, and he said we can't do that again, especially against a team like Hayden. But the boys, I think Washburn Rural also had a very good first half for the boys game as well. I think they had a 14-point lead or something like that, and I think they let Hayden come back in the third quarter, and it was a ball game down the stretch. I think it was 46-36. I'm pretty sure. It was a good game. Jack Batchelor for Washburn Rural, obviously a difference maker. If you give him any open space, he will probably capitalize on it. Jack Batchelor's absolute stud. Not a shock to anybody that watches this show or pays attention to the area. Jack Batchelor gets it done. I think Joe Wadding had 18 points as well, so he had half their points. But yeah, Washburn Rural boys take it down the stretch. They didn't have the best third quarter, but they ended up closing, sealing the deal. So those would have been a couple fun games to watch. But yeah, it was impressive performances by Washburn Rural, especially those city games get so tense and so tough, and each other a little bit better. But the rarity of seeing city games now, you kind of miss them. Last year during basketball season, I had a city game to go to twice a week. Now it's just like, man, I never get them anymore. So yeah, no, I'm glad Rick Pearson was there to cover that. I know that was a pretty important game, and glad to see that teams are competing, and must have been a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. And with this next one, it's kind of funny. You're gonna think I mistyped here, but the Shawnee Heights girls are also on a 5-game win streak, and the boys, coincidentally, are also on a 3-game win streak, just like Washburn Rural, after their sweep this week against Lansing and those big wins.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely important to talk about, because like Shawnee Heights girls starts off the season with a loss, but after that they won every single game after that, and Emery Doby and Taylor Ridinghouse and the crew. I mean, they're so good. I mean, I think they're underrated. I think they make a huge impact for when the team is on the court. I think that they are difference makers, and I think they dictate whether the team is going to get a win or a loss. I think Shawnee Heights girls are a complete team, but they need those two leaders, and I think that Emery Doby and Taylor Ridinghouse are one of the best 1-2 punches around. But the boys, on the other hand, the boys just did not score to begin the season, but now all of a sudden they are just rolling. Brennan Dodge is hot. Jarrett Sanchez is hot. The boys are just rolling. I mean, the Shawnee Heights, if you're a fan of Shawnee Heights, now's the time to go buy your $5 ticket, get some nachos, a Mountain Dew from the stand, and go watch this team, man. They're good. I mean, I haven't seen Shawnee Heights since before winter break, but that's a good team. That's a really good team, a really impressive team. They got height and length and athleticism and pure shooting ability and all this other stuff. I have no complaints with where Shawnee Heights is at now, and I guarantee the coaches don't either. They're rolling. Both the boys and the girls programs are rolling right now, which is obviously great to see. Especially if you write about them or talk about them all the time. It's always great to see great to see a team do well. So yeah, definitely nothing to shy about when it comes to these two teams. They're playing really good basketball right now.
Yeah, shout out to the Thunderbirds. So we're talking about streaks. This one's going to go a little bit in the negative area. Topeka High, their girls were on a 7-game win streak before dropping their last game to Emporia 51-40, and the boys also lost 69-59, also to Emporia. But surprise, surprise, Isaac was also in attendance here, so I'm going to let Isaac take this one away.
Yeah, breaking news right there. I attend a high school game and go watch it. Yeah, no. Yeah, Emporia got the sweep on the night, but I'll start out with the girls game and just say that number 3 in Class 5A Emporia, man, that is a team. I've seen them twice this year. I saw them beat Hayden at Emporia State, and then I just saw them beat Topeka High at the Dungeon the other night. Emporia just flat out showed up, man. They were, telling by the emotions that they had after this game, they knew that this was a huge game because Topeka High is definitely not a team to sleep on. This is a really good Topeka High team. And Emporia, I mentioned it in my story too. It's like the ghost of the 2017 Golden State Warriors showed up in the Dungeon the other night. It was incredible stuff. I mean, they just couldn't miss. They couldn't flat out miss the other night. I mean, Emil Bennett had 4 3-pointers. Lexi DeWitt had a pair. Addie Kermer and Alexa Shively just were just automatic the other night. And they, not even to mention their star 6'6" senior in the post, Rebecca Snyder, anchoring it down low. This Emporia team, man. If 5A playoffs, if it ended in Emporia and Seaman, an old Centennial League matchup, I hope I'm the first one in line. I hope that my name's up front on the clipboard to go check that one out, because but man, Emporia the other night, I mean, against Topeka High too, it's not a team to slouch on. I mean, they were awesome. They just couldn't miss the tip off, right? Very beginning of the game. Don't even think anything of it. People are still finding their seats. They're still sitting down. Emporia gets the tip off. Rebecca Snyder tips it. 3 seconds later, Emporia puts up a layup. I'm like, all right, so 2-0, and then before you know it's 4-0, then 7-0, then 10. I'm like, okay, all right, so Emporia is that good.
Yeah,
It's not, and Topeka High definitely had things to work on. It was not their best game. Kiki Smith still played really well. LaDacia Bayard played really well. Addison Carroll, everybody else played really good basketball. It was just Emporia was just better that night, and Emporia is a really good team. I think now that I've gotten an assumption, I hear the radio broadcasts, I read the stories and everything else. Emporia is that good of a team. And in the Centennial League, that's definitely the Emporia Washburn Rural girls matchup could be really intriguing down the road. But yeah, no, Topeka High lost, I think, just because Emporia played better that night. I think that's what it was. Topeka High, they out rebounded Emporia by 1, but they still out rebounded them as a team. Got as many steals. They shot the ball well, just not well enough to keep up with Red Hot Emporia girls team. But the boys team, on the other hand, this is an interesting game. You read the box score and you see it's 69-59. Emporia takes the victory. That's fine. But Caleb, I came away just stunned from that game. I really did. I wasn't surprised how well Topeka High played Emporia, but my jaw hit the floor when knowing how good this young of a team handled the pressure of a game, because Emporia High boys as well came into this game rolling. I mean, they beat Hayden twice. They're obviously on a roll. They got some great players. Jalen King, Parker Leeds, everybody, the whole team is just so good. And the young guys just didn't fold at all, Mason Gomez, DeMichael Hales, Jaden Norman, Isaiah Lyons. I mean, they just played really, really good basketball. And this game was a lot closer than the end score ended up. But And Isaiah Lyons really stood out to me. He had 21 points. He had 8 points in a 37.1 second span as well. He had 2 3-pointers from the far right corner, the deepest part of the corner, and then he had 2 free throws as well in a 37-second span to bring a team that was down by 13 to end the third quarter to a team that was just down by 5. So Isaiah Lyons is an impact player. Once these shooters really get it going, like we're the JV team's going to a tournament this weekend, so it's just going to be nothing but varsity players practicing this week for Topeka High, and they're gonna get some things settled here. They won't have to worry about any other guys. Topeka High has it, man. They got the shooters, they got the size, everything else. I think they're completely fine, and I think they'll win games. And once you really, like I said, get those shooters rolling, it's going to be a tremendously hard task to stop them. And I think this Topeka High team is better than what people think.
Yeah, and definitely. Another boys basketball team that it seems like we talk about every single week, rightfully so. If you didn't know, Highland Park's pretty good at basketball. The boys stay undefeated with nearly a 20-point win over Atchison on Friday. And all their stars came out to play. We're going to talk about one of them a little bit later. But yeah. Highland Park's really good at basketball. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, on the road, new league rival in Atchison. Go to Atchison's house, and you just put up a 20-burger. No biggie. I mean, what else is there to say? Bo, Aldrich, why do I even say their last names? I'm going to say their last names for people that are new to us here. And I'm going to pretend like you watched the whole episode from start to finish. Not picking your team, but watch it start to finish. But if you are a fan of Highland Park or a fan of the show, you know who Bo Aldridge is. You know who Trey Richardson is. You know who Jameer Kincan is. You know all those guys. And man, an off night. I'm using quotes here. An off night. It was Bo Aldridge only had 18 points. Only. I'm gonna keep saying only because of how good the standards are here. And then the standard is a state championship this year. And the crumbling of May South at Hutchinson the other night, who's the number 1 seed in Class 5A, can make things interesting. Highland Park's right there. Highland Park nearly put up a century mark, right before winter break. So Highland Park could potentially, by Tuesday afternoon, could be the number 1 seed in Class 5A. I wouldn't be shocked. I think they should. I know, bias aside, journalist bias aside, team that I cover aside, I think Highland Park, I don't even know what to say. I think they're that good. I think their bench is good. Their bench is filled with athletes and sharpshooters and everything else, but their starting 5 alone, I think, can beat any starting 5 of any class in this state. I think they're that good. Go on the road to Atchison, have an off night, and then win by like 20. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think this team is just, stupid good. If they can keep up this pace that they're rolling on, they haven't lost a game yet. It's going to take quite a performance from somebody else to knock them off. But, Bo Aldridge is getting D1 looks left and right. Trey Richardson's a football, football. I'm not going to say God, but he's great. He's a great football player getting these D1 looks. They just got dudes, the 1 spot, the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4 spot. The water boy can probably have some handles, man. I'm telling you, this Highland Park team is legit. I would not want to face them right now, but yeah, they're rolling. The girls are playing really good too. They get a win the other night. Highland Park, Scots, baby. Let's go, Scots. Let's stand up. Let's go to these games. Let's go to the pressure cooker. Let's watch Trey Richardson bounce it off the backboard. Let's watch Bo Aldridge do a little dunk, a little 360, a little action. Better than what you can get on Top 10 on SportsCenter. I'm telling you right now, these guys are him. They're all him. They're all just good players. And
HIM for sure.
Go watch those guys. Go support the Scots. Go pay a few bucks for a ticket and come say hi to me because I'll probably be there. And yeah, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, 100%.
Go do it. Yeah.
And now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. Fave 5. It's everyone's favorite. We're going to do rock, paper, scissors because why not? We're just gonna make it an annual tradition for who gets to go first in their Fave 5 list. So
We did it once last year in 2022.
mm,
I haven't seen you since last year.
I know it's been.
God,
I almost said it's been a year, but that's not true.
I hate myself so much. Let's do it. I wanted to make that joke so bad.
All right.
All right.
Are you calling it or am I calling
I can call it if you
it?
want. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it was best 2 out of 3. Are we doing one?
Okay. Fine.
I want to get
If
crazy.
if you would have won that one, I don't think you would have been saying best 2 out of 3. But
I wouldn't have. All right, ready?
We'll do it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Never. Hey, all right.
3 in a row.
3 in a
Never
row.
seen it coming. Never seen it. All right.
All right.
My number 5. My Fave 5 list. We talked about it a little bit in the episode already. Kinsey P. Ryan from Rossville comes in at number 5. They did lose against Silver Lake, but she had what you said, like 6 steals.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, later in the week, another 4.
Yeah.
She stays in those passing lanes. I love defense. One of my favorite parts of basketball. So congratulations, Kinsey P. Ryan. You just made my list.
All right. My number 5. We're staying in the dog pound, baby. We got to. I'm going to put Emma Mitchell in my top 5 here. Lady Dog, I mean, shooting guard. She put up 17 against Silver Lake and then maybe another 17 the other night against Riley County. Either way, she had another double-digit performance against Riley County on Friday. She's been absolutely stellar. I mean, she's been terrific, and all year long. I mean, Rossville's only got 1 loss, man. We harped on it a little bit earlier, but they only got 1 loss, and it's against Silver Lake, and Silver Lake's the number 2 ranked team in the state, and Rossville for now is the 9th ranked team in the state. So let's give the flowers of Rossville to Emma Mitchell here a little bit, because Emma Mitchell has been a catalyst for a team that's just been red hot. So Emma Mitchell's scoring abilities in the mid-range too, which really stands out to me because I'm a sucker for the mid-range game, and she always figures to just put up buckets in the mid-range too. But Emma Mitchell's a force. But yeah, gotta make my top 5. We got 2 Rossville players, 5 on yours, 5 on mine. So yeah, top 5 performances for both. Yeah, but give me Emma Mitchell on my 5.
100%. Moving on to my number 4. We're going to the Lady Vikings. Taylor Stahlbomber from Siemens. Siemens undefeated, and Stahlbomber has been a huge part in it. This past week against Leavenworth, led the team in scoring, 15 points. But doesn't end there. She also was in the passing lanes with 4 steals. And you know how much I love defense. Couldn't shy away from it. Taylor Stahlbomber, congratulations. You just made my list.
Hey man, that sounds like a very familiar thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just made the list. I love it. So let's go. My number 4. We're gonna go Topeka West here. We're gonna go Sincere Austin, man. We're gonna go Sincere Austin here. A huge victory against a really high ranked DeSoto team, conference rival, but in this victory that they had against DeSoto, Sincere Austin had 21 points. Sincere Austin last year, you think about the run with Elijah Brooks and Malachi Berg, Xavier Alexander, and Sincere Austin all in the same lineup. I mean, the Monster Squad, the God lineup. I mean, Topeka West has just got it, man. But Sincere Austin had a huge performance against DeSoto. They trailed to start the 4th quarter, come back, get the victory. Sincere Austin is that guy. Love watching him play. But Sincere Austin, you just made the list.
Congratulations. Just to let everyone know, this is a prestigious list. So if you make this list, you should be really proud of yourself because it takes a lot.
You betcha.
My number 3, going to Tecumseh. Brennan Dodge from Shawnee Heights, 17 points to increase their win streak. Thunderbirds are looking good right now. Brennan Dodge is looking good right now. Watch out for the Thunderbirds in 5A because they're coming. They're coming. Congratulations, Mr. Dodge. You just made a list.
They're here, man. The T-Birds, I'm telling you, I beat that drum earlier. The T-Birds are here. Let's go to another small town. Let's stay in the county. Let's go to another small town.
Do it.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Come on now. She was on my list the last time. We're going to do it again. My number 3 spot belongs to the one and the only walking double-double, Mackenzie McDaniel. Mackenzie McDaniel, you are awesome, and I'm glad that you were so involved in this Silver Lake offense that the walking double-double, that's what it is. She's got the wingspan of Yao Ming. She's got the scoring ability of Steph Curry. I'm telling you right now, Mackenzie McDaniel is going to be a problem. She's only a junior, too. So let's keep that in mind. But Mackenzie McDaniel with the double-double against Rossville, the game before that against St. Mary's, right before break, she also had a double-double. She might have had a double-double against Riley County. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not that smart of a guy. I can only read so much. But Mackenzie McDaniel is a monster. It's Shawnee County's Shaq. She's great. She's tremendous. She can.
Hold down the backboard. She's like that.
She's
Grab the board,
like that.
put it right back up. Can't guard her, unguardable.
Yeah, she's like that though. You know, give her the 3 spot on my list. But congratulations, Mackenzie McDaniel. You just made the list.
Shout out to Mackenzie McDaniel. My number 2. I already talked about him earlier this week or earlier this episode.
Yes.
So, I mean, technically earlier this week because it's whatever. Bo Aldridge, Highland Park, man, just beat out Dodge. Brennan Dodge had 17, Bo Aldridge had 18. So that's what gave him the edge in my number 2 spot. But you can't talk about Kansas high school basketball without talking about Mr. Bo. I mean, B.O. is high school basketball. The dude's just a freak. He can throw it down. He can shoot it. He can pass it if he wants to. He can lock you up probably if he wants to. He can do anything you want. Bo Aldridge, congratulations. You just made my list.
When we're both doing it, it's just electric, man. I love the. Anyways, let's go to my number 2 here. McDaniel had the edge here. A wonderful performance by her. But we're gonna go to the capital city. We're back here in the city that I reside in. Not from here, but I reside here. We're going to stay in downtown Topeka. We're going to go to Topeka High School where Isaiah Lyons gets my number 2 spot because he is a spark plug. He's got the most, I think he has the best jump shot in the county. 8 points in the 37-second span, 21 points overall. Isaiah Lyons just gets it done. Really close to a really good Emporia team. Had him right there. But Isaiah Lyons is a catalyst for a Topeka High team that I believe will make some noise down the stretch and I believe can make a big run here. But Isaiah Lyons, you dog. You get my number 2 spot. But congratulations. You just made the list.
All right.
Yes.
My number 1 spot. Coveted number 1 spot on my Fave 5 list. We talked about it last episode. I mean, I'm a sucker for defense, but I'm also a sucker for a double-double. Whether it's cheeseburger or whether it's on the basketball court, a double-double just makes everything better. So, Zoe Canfield from Washburn Rural, your 15.10 rebound performance. Future Jayhawk. Congratulations. You just made my list.
Booyah. Booyah. Good one, Caleb. That was a good one. That was a good one. We're going to North Topeka. Northern Topeka. Not much out in Northern Topeka. Not gonna lie. There is some good restaurants there. Have you ever tried the Pad? Not sponsored. The Pad is really good. Good place to get a burger. You're talking about double-doubles. And now I might have to hop on DoorDash right after this and get myself one. But we're talking strictly hoops here. We're not talking about burgers. Talking hoops. But North Topeka. Caden Bonner resides in North Topeka. He hoops in North Topeka.
You do.
Noto's finest, Caden Bonner, baby. My number one pick for my fave 5 list. 25 points. Aaron Davis, Caden Bonner had the team on their back for almost the whole game. Caden Bonner absolutely lit it up with 25 stinking points on the night. But Caden Bonner, I don't see any other reason why he wouldn't be on my number one list. But he talked to him after the game. Tremendous human being. I always enjoy talking to him, but he was absolutely filthy against Leavenworth.
Mm-hmm.
So Caden Bonner, congrats, man. You're my number one spot, and you just made the list.
Congratulations. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to those 10 athletes, because it is prestigious.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most prestigious thing you'll ever. I mean, it's up there. It's up there.
Yeah, you bet your sweet behind. This Fave 5 list is Nobel Peace Prize, Oscar. It's right up there.
So. And Bo Aldridge's MVP speech in the future, he's going to mention, he's like, yeah, this is cool. But do you guys remember when I made the Fave 5 of Top Sports Talk?
When he's holding the Larry O'Brien trophy, it's in the NBA Finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder giving them their first championship, holding that trophy up. I'm not Durant. I'm better. I'm Bo Aldridge. And you know what? Before you guys, I had Top Sports Talk Fave 5 list. So you guys can go somewhere else, because the Fave 5 list is what's important to me, not this NBA Finals trophy, not the recognition, not the TV time, not the millions of dollars. It's simply the recognition that you got from Caleb Jenneret and Isaac Deer on Top Sports Talk.
Yeah, 100%.
That's right.
100%. So Isaac mentioned DoorDash, but I actually do have a double waiting for me downstairs. We're actually going to sign off here pretty quick because I'm starving. But thank you guys for watching. We will be back next week with another episode of Top Sports Talk. Once again, remember to like this video, subscribe, go to the TSN site and the ticker. Use it all because it's awesome. Yeah, never miss an episode. We will see you next week. See you later.